Anthony on Air podcast, welcome in for this very special episode where we are tossing out the day's news and focusing on one single topic, something we've been teasing for quite a while: ghost stories. That was unplanned. Credit to those two. That was very good. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
That was pretty good.
So we've been talking about a lot of things on the podcast, and we always talk about doing specialty episodes, and this is exactly one of them. So hopefully you're listening to this late at night, whenever you wind up listening to it. If you're watching the premiere with us, or you're just hanging out, this is good for Campfire, telling stories, roasting mallows. We're going to share our favorite ghost stories, some that have happened to us, some that have happened to others. And the best part about this, and this is my favorite part of the show, we look forward to hearing your ghost stories as well. So write them in the comments, tweet them at us, submit them at anthonyonair.com. However you like to do it. Let's share some ghost stories with one another. Should I go first?
I say kick it off.
All right, I'm gonna lead up to my favorite ghost story, but I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite ghost story related items.
Oh God!
When I was younger, I went on vacation with my parents, and we went down to Savannah.
Ooh.
And for me, there's no scarier thing than an old southern town.
Why is
Nothing.
the South full of ghosts?
Nothing.
I feel like it's a slavery thing a little, and it's also they have this, I don't know.
It's like this old timey feel in certain areas, right?
Yeah, I guess. Like rustic.
What's weird is, even though like New York is just as old as, South Carolina, there's something about the South that feels older.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's like the there's a lot more farmland and there's a lot more rural areas. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. So we went on a ghost tour, which I can't suggest enough.
I'm so jealous.
And what was so great about this one, it was at night. I think it was at like 10 o'clock at night, and it was on horse and buggy.
Nice.
And we went during the week, so everything was like so quiet, and there we were, horse and buggying around, and they take you to all these places and they tell you all these ghost stories, and they're so wonderful. But let me tell you the thing that left me sleepless that night. Like I could not sleep.
You caught your parents doing it.
That'll do it.
That will do it. I was the woman giving the tour gave a historical fact about Savannah. If you look at a lot of the traditional homes in Savannah, there's round rooms. They built long, round rooms. And the reason why is because when they were building that city, they believed that ghosts hid in corners.
Oh, no.
So in order to not have ghosts in a house, the wealthy would build a round room so that ghosts couldn't haunt their home.
Imagine a ghost goes in there and is like, no corners.
No corners here.
Next house.
Freaked me the hell out. I couldn't sleep for the rest. I'm like, I got back to the hotel. I'm like, there's no round rooms in here. It's all corners.
Yeah, it's all
I was
corners.
like panicking.
Why did we all decide on square rooms?
And that's when you
well,
jumped in bed between your parents.
Basically, what was weird is that the lobby was a big rounded room. So I'm like, great.
Sure.
They're all piling into the rooms and not.
Yeah.
Let's get out of this room.
Protect the people that work there, not the customer.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I thought that was messed up. But she said, like, if you go in most homes in that historic area, all the big rooms are all rounded out and there's no corners.
I think there were more ghosts hundreds of years ago.
Oh God, no.
What happened to all the ghosts?
I don't know.
Bring back ghosts. We need more ghosts.
I don't know.
So
all right,
did
Frank.
you see anything?
No, I didn't see anything. I only have one personal story for tonight. I'll share that next. And then my favorite story of all time, somebody told to me, and it stuck with me ever since. But
okay, I'll start with. Let's see. I have one that happened to me personally, one that happened to my brother and my mother while I was there, but I was asleep, and one that happened to a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So which one? The one that happened to me, it's a little tame, but it still freaked me out.
But you again.
I'll give you that one first. Okay.
Go ahead.
So this was, I don't know, I was in my 20s, and it was a couple of years after my grandmother had passed away, grandmother on my mother's side, and I'm asleep in bed, and it's early morning, and I was dreaming that my grandmother was running her fingers through my hair, like she was just doing that. And then I woke up fully awake, and I felt one more hand go through my hair. I mean, and I remember thinking
My
to
nipples
myself,
just got hard.
nice. And I remember thinking to myself, my nipples just got hard. No, that I am fully awake. I'm not dreaming. I'm not half asleep. I was fully awake, and I felt that. I don't know if it was something happened while I was asleep, and I dreamt it, or the other way around. So it just always stuck with me. So was it my grandmother? I don't know. It was in my dream. It was my grandmother in my dream. So very weird.
That is strange. Now, you
It
were
is.
up, or were you having one of those?
No, I was asleep when I was dreaming. I was dreaming about my grandmother, and then I woke up. I was up for about 2 seconds, but awake, totally, completely coherent. And then whoop, and I went. I just like froze for a second, and then I was fine with it because it was kind of a nice thing. It wasn't
yeah.
like,
You weren't scared.
not like she hit me in the face with a pie or anything. She just,
Why?
I don't know. She was
Okay.
she was a funny lady. She could have hit me with a pie.
All
But
right,
that's the one that happened directly to me.
that is a
Okay.
good one. J-Sabs.
All right. So, like I said before, you have to listen to my stories with an open mind. You really do.
Okay.
Hey, we're talking ghost stories. You.
So, my first ever experience was, can't remember how old I was when I lost either was my first or second. I think it was my first tooth. And I was so excited that I woke up in the middle of the night and I went underneath my pillow and my tooth was still there with no money. And I was like, excuse me. So I went to go in my parents' room and like to wake them up and say like, hey, where's the money? And they were like, oh, she didn't come yet. It's okay. So I turned around, I went back in my room, like in the hallway, and I swear to you, I saw a woman with a big blue dress. And it's a running joke in my family that I saw the tooth fairy, like it's and I could still see it so vividly in my mind. Like
Really?
You saw her face?
I could still see it. Yes.
Like you could describe her to like a sketch artist, and
Yep.
you can get her face.
Yep. And she had this like a I guess like a Cinderella type of blue dress with like blue tulle and like just sparkly on the bottom. And I remember going, okay, I guess I have to get into bed now.
She's got like $1 in her hand, like, oh, back to bed with you.
And when I woke up, I remember telling my parents, and they were like, okay. But I can remember this. Like, so I wasn't sleeping because I was up and I just saw this woman in the middle of the hallway going back to my room.
So I mean, is your house, were there previous owners of your house?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know who they were?
Did they die there?
Did they die?
I think before them there was owners, and I think that someone died in that house. I believe so.
Did she have a glass slipper?
I don't-
Do you know that in certain states in the country you have to disclose?
yes.
Oh yeah, you have to disclose if there are any deaths in the house. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but ghosts too.
Really?
There's a couple there's a couple that you have to report. I forget what they call it, hauntings or whatever they call it.
What if you're like, I mean, if you're a real estate agent who like has zero belief in that, you still have to.
If the owner of the house reports it,
The real estate agent's gonna be like, listen, I seem to
Hate
have
to tell
seen
you
something.
this.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit, but whatever. But hey,
Yeah.
who knows?
because there was a story recently. There was a house for sale. It was based off of one of those movies,
Oh yeah.
not Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There was one of the other ones.
Not
Was it
Poltergeist.
Amityville Horror?
No,
Horror?
not Amityville. That's what I was. Not Texas Chainsaw. Amityville is what I was thinking. Thank you, producer.
That's a good
Schroeder.
one. That house just sold, right?
Mm-hmm.
You said, yeah.
It may have, but it was another one that it's a new movie that was just.
That's too close. That house is too close to where we live
I was gonna say.
for me. I don't like
Me too. because
the
I'm, like,
proximity of that house.
You ever
15
drive
minutes
by
from
that
there.
house?
Once.
No, you know what? I never have, and I was always interested in doing so. And I like literally live like 10 minutes from it now, so why shouldn't I? Hello.
I think
Maybe
I drove
tomorrow.
by it and like didn't realize I drove by it till like I was a couple blocks past it, and then I went, "Holy crap! I think I just drove by it." I didn't see it when I was driving by it though.
Yeah, haunted houses freak me out. That's a scare. Not like haunted houses you go to, but when
Oh, I
people are
love them
like,
too.
"Oh, that house is haunted," and if it's really old, I mean, it's like,
Yep. Some freaky stuff. I think it's your turn, Ant.
oh, this is gonna drive me crazy now. I'm gonna have to find this house. I've had that feeling though in historic houses. There's a farm right where I am here on the North Fork of Long Island, and it's older than the country. And you can walk in and kind of like see what things are like, and you could just like, there's like a feeling when you go into
Wait,
these
where?
places.
You have to tell me where, because I would go there.
It's not haunted. They don't tell haunting stories, but it's like there's no way that this is like 270 years old and some bad things did not happen in this house. There's just no way.
It's still functional, still operational as a farm.
Yep. Yeah, it's a historic. It's Halleckville. It's called Halleckville.
Oh, okay. I know what
The
that is.
Halleckville Museum Farm, and
Yep.
there's a old house, and it's right on the road, and you go in, and it looks like
Family lives there like normal.
kept the house the way it was. Yeah. all
All
the
right,
way
but they're
back
not
then.
claiming it's haunted or anything.
Not claiming it's haunted, but you look at it and it's just so like, it was like that at the first radio station I worked for. It was in Amagansett, which
Oh,
for
God.
people who don't know, that's like the last town of civilization before you drive 40 minutes of nothingness just to get to Montauk.
Yeah, the lights on the road stop like 3 towns before Armageddon.
Yeah. And and you would go out the back of this radio station, which was basically just an old house. And this was so creepy. There was just, before this vast open field, there was just a door frame. It was just like an empty door frame that was there.
The door to hell.
And it was, I swear to you,
Are you
I
kidding me?
never walked through that door frame ever.
How much would it take for you to do that? In the middle of the
never
night,
do it.
midnight.
See?
I can tell you, like, when I would leave at like 9 o'clock at night and it was getting dark, I was just like, you
Not
know,
looking
you
there,
just,
not looking, not looking.
you know, you just see it in your head, like all the spirits coming rushing towards you. I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah, that was creepy.
So if I gave $1 million, you wouldn't walk through that
No,
door at the middle of the night.
I would walk through, it was so in my head that I was like, if I walk through that door frame, I don't know
You're
what
gonna be changed forever.
I don't know what side I'm coming out of. Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a good Stephen King thing, like just a door in the middle of nowhere. That you could write a whole story about it.
Yeah, that would be
God,
something
oh,
else.
God.
That would be good.
That you just reminded me of another quick one, but that radio station the house was supposedly haunted, and this I did experience once where one of the rooms would just go frigid cold, and there was everything was independently. There was independent air conditioner units in there, and you would just walk in and you would just feel utter cold.
That's good stuff.
And that I did experience once. It was
Jesus
it was
Christ.
creepy.
That's
It
awesome.
it was pretty creepy. But my other one, this is the one I was going to tell, which is so. By the way, we did not know what each other's stories were,
No.
but mine is very similar to Frank's. I was in my grandparents' house on my mother's side, and my father's father was very ill, and it was like we knew it was last days, and I remember I was in my parents' room in that house, my grandparents' house, but my parents which was in Jersey, by the way, and my parents were back here in New York tending to my father's father. So I was staying with my other grandparents, and like I said, I was a little kid, and I went to bed, laid in bed, and felt like somebody was looking at me. When I looked up, there was nothing there. I didn't see anything the whole entire night, but it felt the entire night like he was there. Not like, oh, there was some presence. I felt like every time I looked up, I was going to see him. And I don't know if this is just like a little kid's imagination wandering around, but felt him there the entire night until I fell asleep. Woke up the next morning, spoke to my parents. It turns out he had died like just before bedtime, basically. And they they weren't going to call me and tell me that night. So that fucked me up for a long. If they would have just said Grandpa died today, would have been no issues. But when they were like Grandpa died last night, I was like, oh fuck.
Yep, he definitely saw you.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah, because I would have had no way of like I wouldn't have known. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
But could have been an overactive child's imagination just running wild. I don't know. Janine's like, no, he was there.
No, sorry, because
He was there. He could have been watching.
one of my stories is similar.
Okay. Oh wait, is it Frank's turn or your turn?
No, go ahead. I
could jump ahead if you
for
want.
Frank. Go ahead, Frank.
All right. Let's see. This one, I'll give you the one that happened to a friend of mine. When he was a kid, he has this brother who's they're a year apart, and they shared a room, and his brother, my friend's brother, he was very serious as a kid, very serious guy. He doesn't he doesn't screw around, lie like that. He doesn't have an active, wild imagination, So my friend said that one day that he saw a man in his room walk right from across the room into the curtains and just disappear into the curtains.
What?
And he told his parents, and they didn't believe him and all this. And then they went to his brother, and his brother goes, "Yeah, no, I saw him too."
Oh my God.
And apparently they described it was a guy that looked like my father-in-law, tall, skinny, like 6'2" or 6'3", skinny guy, and just walked right across the room into the curtains. And they both saw him, and they swear to this day.
Damn.
Okay, and that it was a friend. It was a friend of Erin's, my wife, and yeah, he was in the wedding party. I think I don't know if you remember him.
I don't remember your wedding, so don't even.
Okay, that's fine.
I wasn't invited.
You were invited, probably.
Joke.
So then he met. This was when he was a kid. Then he met my wife's father. Looked exactly like him, and he freaked out.
Are you kidding me?
Really?
Yeah, he was like, "Holy shit!" And he had to tell that story. And
wow.
it was a guy that looked exactly like him, and they both swear to this day that the guy walked right across their bedroom into the curtains.
Oh fuck. Okay.
And just vanished.
No, see?
I didn't see it myself, but it's still a good one. And
how old were the kids though?
Like 6, 7, 7, 8, something like that. And the kids, my friend is probably, you could believe him, you cannot believe him, but his brother is a very serious kid. He was a serious kid, serious guy. He's serious as an adult. He doesn't have, he doesn't kid around that much. And he was like, no, I definitely saw it.
Oh God, no.
That
is crazy though. That he looked just like Aaron's father.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. It's a tall, skinny guy. Excuse me. And my friend, he's Indian, and the ghost they said was just a tall white guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
I found out what it was. Do you want me to do it before Janine goes or after?
No, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. It's The Conjuring. Did you ever see The Conjuring?
Yes. You know what's funny? I was gonna say, was it the Conjuring movie?
Yeah.
I love that series.
Isn't that in Connecticut or something?
Well, the two spirit guys are from Connecticut.
Yeah, and look at the image that they chose for the article.
I mean,
what is that?
That's it.
That's Annabelle.
Well, that's Annabelle from the movie.
Is that
That's
Annabelle
not
from the movie?
the real Annabelle is actually a Raggedy Ann doll.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the one that they actually was, allegedly haunted.
I'll tell you the one thing I can't do in scary movies is ghost little girls. I cannot deal with that.
Ghost kids of any kind
What?
freak me out.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know what it is,
Do you
but
mean like when they get inside them, like, and they
Like
start to
possessed
act?
kid? No.
Yeah.
no,
Like a
no.
dead spirit kid.
I mean, if I was going to see two ghosts and one of them had 1,000 tentacles with knives coming out and it was on fire with huge muscles, I would be like, I'll have to figure out a way to beat this. If the other one was an 8-year-old girl, I would just panic and die.
Oh my.
There's something eerie.
Pussy.
That's why The Shining
Oh yeah,
fucked me
no.
up for a long time. I think that's why I can't be alone for extended periods of time. I feel like I'm going to turn into The Shining.
Do you ever walk through a hotel hallway and be like, oh, I can't do
Nah,
this?
this ain't
Ever
good for
walk
me.
through a hotel hallway? I walked through that
That.
hotel hallway.
Did you
That's-
really?
It's in Colorado. Yeah. And I went there. Coincidentally, it's the same hotel that they filmed Dumb and Dumber at.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know
When
that.
Harry and Lloyd go there, it's the same exact hotel. It's the Shining Hotel. Yeah, it's in
The
Colorado.
Get
Overlook
outta here.
Hotel. Oh, that's nice. So
it
was
is
it?
creepy.
Did it look the same? The carpet, everything?
Yeah, the hallways are weird. They have the room where he stayed, where he wrote the movie. What's his name? King? Was that Stephen King? They have that. There's like a thing on it. It's like way more expensive to stay in that room and shit. And then they say that people still see things, and people
Really?
who stay in that room see shit all the time.
No, thank you.
Yeah, fucking
Not for me.
freaky. All right, so here's the story. Let me see here. One family bought the real life home that was in The Conjuring. Madison Heinzen has amassed a huge following on TikTok thanks to her videos of the Harrisville, Rhode Island home, the site of real life events in the 2013 horror film. Heinzen home, which her parents bought in 2019, has documented claims of paranormal activity. She's also witnessed spooky happenings while living there, and in one particular incident, she claims to have seen a ghost. Quote, this happened last year when I was in the kitchen. I was eating dinner by myself, and I saw someone run by me.
Oh,
I caught it by the left corner of my eye, and all I saw was a veil and a skirt, and it just vanished into thin air. This had all happened in a span of 3 seconds, and I just sat there in complete disbelief, not knowing what to do afterwards.
move.
When she told her parents what she witnessed, they let her know that other people have claimed to see her too, describing the spirit as a woman in a wedding dress. So that's what's really freaky is this little girl didn't even know this shit was going on. And then when she told her parents, they were like, sit down. Like, we have something to tell you.
Oh yeah, that wasn't your imagination. There are ghosts. Have a good
Yeah.
have a good night's sleep.
which house is it? Because is it like a Woody one? Because there was a few Conjuring movies, and if I'm thinking of the one where the family
see
moved
it?
in with all the family
it's
moved
like-
in with all the girls.
That is a Woody looking.
It looks like wood
Yeah,
siding.
that looks like it then. Okay.
Oof.
Because I've seen the whole entire. Frank, have you seen the series?
No.
It's so good. But see, like that type of horror movie is my favorite.
See, I I would love a good horror movie like that, but for me, the jump scares just take me right out of it. Like you turn and like all the music just goes blah, and you're like, come on, the music scared me. It's not.
No, it's you have to watch the series because it's really good. I don't know if they're up to 4 or 5 movies in it, but you know how like when they make sequels and
Oh, yeah, they get
prequels, they're not
terrible.
good.
Yeah.
Not this one.
These stay with it, huh?
Yes. But I mean, like, what I like about this is that it's based on like mostly all true events, like all the movies, all these things that happen in the movies. Because I researched it because I was like, I want to find out, But I mean, it's so good. It is.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. There's if you look, I mean, it just came to me this thing that if you look on YouTube, there's a Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. It's a
Oh,
guy that lives in Maine, and he just has a camcorder, and he goes around his house, and he claims that there's a
Okay.
spirit living in there.
now I'm gonna have to look at
And he
it.
has all these videos of this. He calls it I forget what he calls it, like Shadow Dude or Shadow Guy or something like that. And he just he walks into a room and there's just the shadow right there in the middle of the room, and then it just like disappears.
No,
And then
thank you.
He turns and and it's just in his face, and he's like, "Oh God!" And you hear him like, "Ah!" and then you hear like the thing talking to him. Like it's insane.
I have to watch that.
Well, let me tell you the rest of this for people who haven't seen the movie, and then we'll get to Janine. The house was built in 1736. It was previously known as the Old Arnold Estate. It's on 8.5 acres of land. There's something about vast
Yeah, exactly.
property. Yeah, it makes you feel alone. The owners, the girl's parents, said that they witnessed doors opening, footsteps, and knocks. They didn't feel that anything was evil happening, but they could tell that there was a lot going on. Conjuring is based on a real-life accounts of the Perrin family, who lived in the Rhode Island home. Carolyn and Roger Perrin, along with their 5 daughters, moved into the house during the 1970s, where they first reported small yet inexplicable events. Andrea Perron, the oldest daughter, revealed at the time that the seller hadn't disclosed the location's vile history of murder, rape, and suicide, and only left the family with one warning as she handed off the keys.
Oh, God.
Leave the lights on at night, she said.
Oh, come on.
That is fucked up. That is fucked up.
That
It
is.
wasn't long before these events escalated, such as bed shakings early in the morning, smells of rotting flesh, a broom moving from place to place, and small piles of dirt that would appear after a freshly swept kitchen floor.
That's just annoying. I just cleaned there, damn it. What the hell?
Go ahead, J-Sabs.
All right. I just thought of something else too, so I had to mention that one. But when I was younger, there was these boys down the block who they had a Ouija board. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
And like during the summer, we would always play with it. And like,
Wait, the Ouija board?
yeah.
I'm just trying to keep everybody on the page.
Clarifying.
Yeah.
And so the boys, their parents rented an apartment, but it was 2 different floors. And so they were like, let's play the Ouija board. And we're like, okay, like, like you think it's a joke, whatever, it's fake. And they started to tell me how when they were doing it one day, not it, but the Ouija board, that this spirit came through. And I don't even want to say his name because that's how this freaked me out.
All right, whatever you do, don't say it 3 times because I know that's always bad.
Oh,
And said that this spirit said that he killed his family in a fire. And now, like, obviously this could be an urban legend, but like back then I didn't have an internet, so you don't know what's real.
yeah, it's hard to look that up.
Right, exactly. So it was like, yeah, he said like he set a fire in his house and his parents burnt and his siblings, and he he wanted to talk to someone through this. So one day I was like, all right, let's play it. Like, this is bullshit, whatever. But I felt something that day. Like, I can't even describe it. Like, I didn't feel like this was fake at all. I felt very uncomfortable. And for for me to feel uncomfortable, come on.
That takes an awful lot.
Yeah. And there's no Ouija HR either.
No. And I was just very like, I can't do this. And so their mother had come over, was talking to my mother and me and just saying like they had to move because like she felt like she was like, like saying like, we have to move because now the spirit's in our apartment. Like
You didn't say goodbye. You have to like close it out.
like the toys were coming down the stairs and like she kept hearing like a kid laughing.
Oh,
And yeah, exactly. And like, I was like, I remember hearing this and I was like, yeah, okay. But like after feeling that, like I was just like, shit, this is real. This is real. Like, no, you laugh, but like I can't describe the feeling. It was just so like I felt something was there and I didn't feel like it was right.
did it feel like? I mean, it's hard to. What's so frustrating about those things is that you can't tell
Yeah.
if someone else is moving it or not.
Exactly. Well, that's the whole thing. But the thing is, I felt, and don't laugh at me. See, you're gonna laugh. I felt a force. I felt something just I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, I'd say you don't know how it feels until you've been through it. Really.
Like what on your hand?
Okay, but
Like-
I'm not doubting you. But again, much like with me, do you feel like it was real, or was it like the overactive imagination of a?
Were you just terrified?
No, I really, well, here's the thing too. Like, other things have happened to me in my life, which I'll share with you, that I know for me personally,
Don't tell me you got a fucking spirit following you around, because I'll never hang out with you ever again. I guess I don't know if it'll get latched onto me. I can't have it.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
how does that
It's
work?
hard to say because, like I said, like people believe in certain things, and as far as like ghosts and spirits and all of that stuff, and unless you've been through it, I don't blame you doubting it. But if you've been through something, then you're not going to doubt it.
You're
because
making me feel like I haven't been through anything right now. That's what I feel like.
Hey,
I feel like my stories were bullshit.
And honestly, like that, those people didn't live there much longer. But I always wondered, because it was like one of the bigger houses on the block. It was like a 3-family house. And I always wondered if they had problems like afterwards. But like after the mother said that these toys were falling down the stairs, and from like the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor, just things. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is for real. Like,
You know what I find interesting? Like, you don't often hear stories of ghosts following people, but rather they do get stuck in locations a lot.
Yeah.
Don't you find that to be true? Like,
Yep.
that seems to be the case.
that seems right, except for
That is true.
paranormal activity.
right.
Follow the
It's
family
just-
around, I think.
It's just, but I just want to mention this quick. That story, The Conjuring, the girl just, she said the Conjuring house, she said she saw someone flash by.
Yeah.
I was at someone's house, and I had been there a few times, and I had always kind of felt like something in the corner of my eye, like move. And one time I was just like,
Wait, at the same house, at this person's house?
no, a different person's house.
Okay.
And like I said, and this is later on, this is like only a couple of years ago. And I just kind of felt like, because she has like a long stretch, and then it goes into the kitchen. And I just felt like something like whizzing past me. And I'm like, and one time the person whose house I was at caught my eye, and she was like, "Did you just see something?" And I was like, "Well, kind of like," and she's like, "Have you seen it before?" And I said, "Actually, yes." And she's like, "Well, I didn't want to tell you."
Ah,
Oh my God. For real?
I'm not kidding you. And I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you have to tell me?" And she's just like, "Well, we kind of have something here." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean you have something here?" Like, and she's like, "We believe we have a spirit in this house because we've caught it passing us."
that's fun.
And she's like, "I noticed like the last couple of times you were here, you kind of looked like for something, or you saw it." She's
Man,
like, "I
if
could just tell that you saw it."
If I saw something like that, I would. I don't know. I remember being home one day by myself. I was like a teenager. This isn't even a ghost story, but I heard something I heard something in the kitchen. No, heard something in the kitchen. A move, like a plate.
If
or
he
something.
wasn't, he had just finished. Go ahead.
Right, or I was about to. So I heard something in the kitchen move, and the kitchen was on the opposite side of the house. It was one floor. I was in my room, and by myself in the house. And I just remember I was watching TV, and I remember just yelling out, "Listen, I don't care if there's a ghost here." This is me by myself, just yelling into an empty house. "I don't care if there's a ghost here. Just don't show yourself to me, or I'll freak out. Do whatever you want to do. Just leave me alone, please." I remember yelling that by myself.
You're surrendered to a ghost.
I just was like, you know what? You got it. You do whatever you want. You move all the plates. Just don't show yourself to me, because I'll freak out.
Don't put the sheet over yourself.
I'm done, and I just
All right. I feel now we have to get to this portion of this special. What is this? What do you think this is? Are these dead people whose spirits haven't moved on? Is it like that unfinished business thing? What is it? Like, what are you obviously have to have a belief about this?
Me personally, or him?
You're
All of
seeing
us?
shit. This one's screaming at an empty house. Yeah, you have to have there's got to be some sort of belief system here that you guys feel that these things exist.
there. Go ahead. If you have.
I definitely believe in ghosts. I definitely believe in spirits. I
I get
definitely
that,
believe.
but what do you think it is? Like,
I think it's certain things that happen to me that I've seen. I definitely believe it's people who I know. And like as far as the person in like that thing in my friend's house, probably a spirit that couldn't move on from that house.
okay, that fucking freaks me the hell out because I don't want to get stuck here. That's my thing. I like to be right in line with where I'm supposed to be at the time. Being fucking stuck somewhere for some reason will drive me crazy.
But the reasoning for that is like they say that a lot of people who die can't they can't move on from that. They can't believe that they're actually dead.
I can't come to terms with it.
They can't come to terms with it, so they have to stay where they are.
Yikes!
See, this would panic me because I'd be like, did I miss a step in the manual? Is there customer service? Can I call somebody to
what
come
do I
pick
do
me
here?
up?
Now? What's the next move?
How do I get the fuck out of here? Because if I'm left to my own devices to solve it, I'll be miserable for eternity.
There's a theory that when you see something like that, like just something walking across a room or whatever it is, that it's, and I don't know if I believe this or not, but there's this theory that it's like leftover energy from that person, and they just have to keep doing that same motion over the whole. It's like almost like like they did this motion, and it's like something that they're about. Like if they're running, then it's something meaningful that it's just a lot of energy was, it's hard to explain.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it's like a glitch almost in there
Yeah.
in the energy of the world. It's just like a leftover kind of.
Yep.
We call it a spirit, but it's just like their biological energy that that manifests, I guess. I don't know.
That's creepy. This was like, I feel like nobody talks about this anymore, but years ago, they used to tell this story all the time that when somebody died in a room, somebody would always go run over and open up a window.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
All the time.
Just to let them out. Yep.
To let them out, which always drove me crazy because I'm like, what do you think? The people, you can't go through walls, so you're getting stuck in window. You got that window open.
Just climbing out a window, like,
yeah.
Damn it, can't open the door.
Yeah, I mean, that always seemed weird to me, but
Why the window?
I mean, well, let me just say this. Unless, Frank, you want to go.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to tell the story about the one that I had similar to Anthony's.
Wait, is this the big story? Because we're saving your big story for last.
This is a big story.
The big story or a big story?
Well, I kind of have two big stories. One is like very short though.
All right, tell your short one. Go ahead.
Okay.
Or tell your less great one.
Okay, this I think is a less great one. But,
okay.
So as you know, obviously I lost my first daughter, and Diana, and her room.
When did this happen? I don't remember this.
2017. And it was like, I want to say 3 weeks after it happened. And when it happened, we were in the middle of doing the room for her, like setting it up for her.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. We weren't sure. I knew what colors I wanted to use. I wanted to use like aqua and coral and gray. So after it happened, we were like, should we still paint the room? Like, what do we do? Yeah, we know we want to have another one, but like, what do we do? Like, we were kind of torn. So we were in there and we were looking at the walls and we're like, should we just do blue and gray and that's it? And then just add a color later on, like, for a boy or a girl, whatever. And then I was like, what do you think about like just doing like what we originally wanted to do, like just coral and blue, like, or just coral and gray. And he was like, that's kind of girly. Like, what if it's a boy next time? And I was just like, well, we didn't know if it was a boy this time, blah, blah, blah. And then when I said something like, all right, I think we should do coral and pink and gray, we heard this noise in this room that I can't tell you. And Gaetano's not a believer. My husband, he's not like me. Like, he's like, everything's bullshit, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say he doesn't believe in anything.
He doesn't, no, you could just see it. And he looked at me and we both said this, like, we both felt like it was like Diana telling us, you have to pick this color.
What noise?
Because
What was the noise?
it was like a thump in the room. It was kind of like, come on. It was just like a weird, like, and we never heard that noise before. It didn't come from outside. It came from inside the room. It wasn't heat because it was July. It was just the weirdest thing. And we were like, that was definitely her. Like, that was her telling us, you better pick the coral and the gray because it's going to be a girl next time. And it was, but it was just like the weird, and because you know him, he looked at me and he was just like,
What was that?
I think we have to use coral and gray.
And you never heard it before, and you never heard it since.
Never heard it before, never heard it since. It was just like
shit.
It was just like this energy and this just like thump in the room. It was just so, I can't even describe it.
How the fuck are you gonna top that story?
I have a better one.
It's a good one.
So, I mean, like, there's been a lot of other things that have happened with her too, but that's a big one, I'd say, especially because it was just like right after everything that happened.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So it was funny because somebody asked, like, why did you paint Eliana's room this color? Like, you guys knew it was a girl? And he looked at me like, no, we didn't, but someone else told us that it was going to be.
It was
kind of hands are tied on this one.
Right. Because we didn't
Kinda
find
had
out until, you know, all the babies came out, because we don't like to find out before. But it was just so weird that it happened like right at that moment, right when we're deciding the color. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Good stuff.
That is a good one.
Yes.
And again, let us know in the comments.
That.
You like what you say? How you follow up with that?
I can't follow that.
What do you got?
Go ahead, Frank. You were gonna put a nice plug in. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let us know in the comments what you believe, or if you believe there are spirits or ghosts, or what you think it is. And if you have any stories of your own, feel free to share them with us, because they're all interesting. No matter what you think, they're all interesting.
All right, this was my favorite ghost story until that one. But this was told to me by a couple who I always just adored. We were out at a company gathering, and they told me this ghost story, and it stuck with me forever. I don't remember all the details, so it's going to be a little sketchy, and I'm not going to just make shit up to fill in the gaps. I'll just tell you what I remember about it. But basically the story is this couple, they went and they bought an old like bed and breakfast, like an old, not motel, but kind of like a big bed and breakfast.
Is this Beetlejuice?
No.
Ooh.
That wasn't a bed and breakfast, was it?
Was their last name the Maitlands?
No.
No, it wasn't a bed and breakfast.
No,
it was just a big house.
So they buy this thing, and it's completely abandoned. There's like 12 rooms, but it's not like it's all in one house. It's kind of like motel style. Like there was like a big long house, and it's kind of, there's like 2 floors, to the rooms. There's one stack of rooms on top of another. And so they were in there, and they were renovating, and they were like, it was going to be this long-term thing. They moved in right away, but they were going to fix it up over time and open up this bed and breakfast. And they had this phone system where like it was an old like hotel phone system where when you picked up to call the front desk, there was a bank of lights, and the whatever room it was coming from, the light it would show. This way you knew which room it was, so they could go get towels or you know pillows or whatever. So they're in the first floor one night, and they just hear footsteps, and so now they're panicking because they're like, somebody's in the somebody got in the house,
Oh, God.
in the building, and so they go, flashlights, look around, can't find anybody, nowhere. Don't think anything of it. Okay, that's weird. Whatever. They kind of like wrote it off as a ghost, like whatever. Then a couple nights pass, same thing. Footsteps again in the same location. Now they literally go and open up every single room, go through like into the bathrooms, like they're like, if somebody, a kid or whatever, is in here messing around with us, we're gonna find them.
Oh, God.
Cannot find a thing. By the way, they're in the middle of nowhere. It's like on a hilly, like upstate New York, like there's
Right.
nothing around, Third time it happens, the fucking phone in the lobby rings, and they look at the like, is somebody calling from the outside? No, one of the lights from the room is lit up. So now they're like, what? So now they're like, their first inclination was, is we got them. They don't know. If this is some kid fucking around, run up to the room. Nobody there. Nobody in sight. And they said that this would happen all the time, from time to time, where they would just hear the phone ring and they would look, and it was always the same exact room.
Oh,
Well,
no.
obviously something's going on in that room. They got were it me, I'd be like, all right, we got to get an investigation into this room. Something weird happened here.
Yeah.
We got to figure out what this is.
And this was like in the 70s. So this is like an old story. So this was like before you could like put a camera in the room or whatever to
Right.
see what the hell was going on. But that was the whole story. And they never figured out what it was. They never went through with the renovation. They wound up selling it to some farm family or
I
something.
wonder if it still exists, that place.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember them saying the part of the story was they sold it to a family. I think it was like an adjacent farm or whatever, and they just wanted the land. They could care less.
So they knocked it down.
They had no plans for the house or whatever. No, I don't even think they were going to touch the house. I think they were just going to let it sit there and rot. So the couple was like, "This is a perfect scenario. They could do whatever, and we can get
See
out of
ya.
this and be gone."
Yeah, no thank you.
That's creepy.
Yeah, no, that's, you bring in everybody to investigate it, electrician, phone guy, creeks, whoever. If they can't find it, see you later. I'm selling this place.
Oh, my God, no.
It's
No.
over.
Nope.
No, thank you.
Or kind of yup.
Yeah, that's my favorite one of all time because there's a practicality to it for some reason. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like you eliminate a lot of the bullshit in
Yep.
there. And there's a physical interaction. Like there had to be something that was making that, phone ring
Yeah,
and that
that's
light
weird.
go off.
Did they check the phone? Like, was it off the hook?
I think they said they like unplugged it and they did all this
Yeah, it was
stuff.
definitely spirit. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, now you could argue, was it like a short in the line somewhere where the thing just like would ring randomly or whatever? I mean, I don't know, maybe,
Oh.
I guess.
Jean got scared and left. Couldn't handle it anymore.
I will be devastated if we don't get her back for the big
Oh,
story.
she's got the
that
big
been
story.
pumping for like months.
I've got one too. I got another one. My big one.
Oh, okay, hold on. Here she's back.
She's back. Okay.
They didn't want me to tell the story. Okay.
Big ghost. Is
Frank was going
cracking
to tell
down.
his. Do you have time for Frank's and then
Yes.
yours, and then we'll wrap it up? Okay, go
No,
ahead,
I got
Frank.
kicked off. That's what happened.
All right. So, is there a ghost in your house? Maybe. So this happened when I was young, when I was, I guess, 10 or so. When I was young, I lived with my mom and my older brother. My brother's 2 years older than me. So my brother and I shared a room. My mom, her room was our room, bathroom, my mom's room, and this little hallway connected and everything. And I was asleep, so I didn't see or hear or witness any of this. This is my brother and my mom tell me this happened. I can't vouch, I can only vouch for them telling me. So, middle of the night, my brother wakes up. I'm asleep, and he looks over at my bed, and he sees a shadow, shadow of a man, kneeling at the foot of my bed.
Oh my God, so many jokes.
Just I'm sleeping in bed, and there's someone like this kneeling at my bed.
Wait,
And
so he
this
sees like the shadow on the
shadow,
wall.
no, like it looked like a silhouetted person in the like off the wall, not up against the wall. Like a shadowy figure. Now this was, I don't know, a year or two after, maybe a year after my grandfather had passed away. Okay, my grandfather who was an electrician. So my brother sees this man who he doesn't really recognize. He gets up, runs into my mother's room, wakes her up. Mom, there's someone in our room. There's someone in our room. She gets up, comes in the room. No one turned the lights on. I'm still asleep. No one there. My mom and my brother start smelling my grandfather's cologne. Okay, it's like the only thing they smell it. And the bathroom light at the time never worked. I don't know what made her do it, but my mom went to flip on the bathroom light and it worked.
Oh shit.
My grandfather being an electrician, I don't know if
Oh
it was
shit.
him there. I didn't witness this, but
Did it always work after that then or no?
yeah, that worked from then
Shit.
on.
Okay.
I'm regretting this episode. Like I'm uncomfortable with this
You all
whole
right?
thing now. I hate that we did this.
Yeah, well, good.
I really
You're
hate
gonna
that
hate
we
my
did
story.
this.
Then you're gonna hate my
But
next
it's a
story.
positive one.
That's a
He
good one.
didn't hurt anything. He wasn't. There was no
Yeah,
mean
positive
spirit.
for you in this instance. I'm gonna come across one of these like spiteful pieces of shit
Yeah,
spirits.
why do they do that? What's their goal there?
I
Just to
don't know.
fuck with you.
Just to mess with you? I mean,
Come
be
on.
nice.
Like an angry spirit. Come on, you don't want that.
No, why are they so angry? I mean, maybe I'm sure there's a reason, but I didn't do anything. Leave me alone. But no, that was a positive one.
Oh, I like
They're,
this
they're
one.
assuming it was my grandfather, but
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
So
Sorry.
that's my big one.
God.
We
Anthony's
good?
wife is gonna have to spoon him tonight.
Yeah, because I'm tired of doing it.
I'm
Is she right there?
Babe, I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight. Yeah, she's right here.
You're not gonna like my next story then.
Oh, here we go.
Come hold me. Go ahead.
I was 12, almost 13 years old. And since we only had one, my brother didn't have an air conditioner in his room, so I had one in my room, so he was sleeping on the floor.
Hold on. Did he sell it to settle a gambling debt?
That sounds like
Yes, at 10.
Just
sounds
knowing
like
your brother.
10-year-old him.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's okay. I just want to
So
give people the background. Go ahead.
I woke up in the middle of the night, freezing. And even from when I was young, I never got cold, really. I've always been a hot tempered person, mind and actual body heat. So I remember I was like, why am I so cold? Like, I have to put long sleeve pajamas on. Like, what is this? I never wear long sleeve pajamas, not even in the winter. So I put them on, and as I turned around, I saw like this spirit come in my room, kind of like kiss my brother, and then like just float out and just leave.
When you say spirit, what did you say?
It looked like a ghost of a man.
Like
It just
floating?
yes. And it just came in, kissed my brother, and then left. And I remember like I wasn't scared. It was I knew not to be scared, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the next morning, my mother came in the room at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she opened up the door, and she's like, and I'm like, Grandpa died, and she's like, how'd you know? How'd you know? And I was like, I just know.
I got to
And
change my shorts.
We had the same fucking story. That was crazy.
yeah, it's exactly. And she was just like, but like, he wasn't sick at the time. He was sick like 2 years prior, maybe even 3 years prior, and was doing okay. And then just had a heart attack in the middle of the night and died. But like, I wonder if my mom still even remembers this story because it really, like, I just knew that it was him and I wasn't scared. Like,
See, that's
it's
another
hard to
nice one.
describe. It's hard, yeah. But
No, that's not nice.
It's
That's
nice.
not. That's
Isn't that
scary.
like heart? Isn't that like comforting to know
No.
that like if there's an afterlife, which I believe in, that there's niceness to it, and there's there's an existence, and it's nice. It's comforting.
I just knew.
Did
And
you
like,
recognize, like you could see what he looked like, or
I
he
just,
just looked like a mist, or what?
Yeah, describe the yes. Good.
it
Yes,
looked
good.
like, it looked like a mist, but I knew it was a man. And like, I didn't realize it until
Like, was it
like,
black, white?
it was
like a
white. It was like
white
it was
mist,
it was like a white mist.
like in the shape of a person,
Yep.
full head to toe,
Yep.
floating or
See,
walking in,
Floating.
floating in.
That's black mists matter too. Can I just say that I don't want people to get the wrong impression about this podcast. Like, it's
Yeah,
okay.
but it's just and like you say about the smell. So where my grandparents lived, it was like a three-family house, like upstairs, downstairs, and then to the side. And when you walked in the front of their house, there was this certain odor. I can't even describe it. And
Grandparent
like,
odor.
no, just the smell of the house.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will smell it out of nowhere. And I'm like, whoa, like that just brings me back. And it's not like a food, it's not like mold. It's just like a certain smell. I don't even know what it is, but sometimes I'll all of a sudden smell it and I'm like, oh shit, that's their house. And I haven't been in over 20 years. So it's fucking crazy.
Okay, does it weird you out that we've not shared these stories with one another ever? And we all had basically a similar story, like a
Yeah.
similar experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. We never really we never discuss ghost
Yeah, we,
stories.
Yeah.
we discussed stupid things like politics. That doesn't
Right.
even matter.
Moronic, stupid politics. Exactly.
Nobody's gonna believe that this was like totally unplanned. That we all had. That's nobody's gonna believe.
Oh,
That's
these
why-
are legit stories that we never told each other. Absolutely.
That's when you said the thing about Anthony, when that story, I was like, wait, that's basically what happened to me. Like,
Some fun stuff.
and the cold, I'll tell you right now, I still remember like being so cold
Yeah,
and just waking up like, wait a minute, like this ain't
Cold.
going away.
Cold, but like not scared, right? You
Right,
said?
I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
No.
So that's
I in the cold in the radio station. It was a cold that, like, I can't describe to people. Even if you ran the best air conditioner in the world for like 20 minutes, which the unit that was in this room was, I mean, it barely could do like anything. That was like that was it. It was like not unbearable cold, but you were like it was just it was a cold that was physically impossible to have happen with that air conditioner in that room.
Yeah.
There's a place, a castle in like Ireland or Scotland. My wife went there before we even met. She went over there and did like one of those ghost tours. And this is in Scotland or wherever it was, and in a
Ooh.
castle,
Ooh.
And there's a story there that there's a ghost that and there's documents of it. There's like pictures that some people go there, and when they leave, they're not hurt, but there's marks on them. Okay, there's like scratches or bruises and stuff, but they didn't feel it happen. And they take pictures, they document it, they write down their name and all that stuff. And the story goes that when you go to this place, they walk you through it, and they tell you that the spirit that's there purposely makes it hotter so
Ooh.
that you'll spread apart, so that you'll separate from the group.
Oh.
Because if it's cold, everybody kind of huddles together a little bit, but it makes it warmer in there. And if you feel it getting warmer, then it's the ghost or the spirit trying to push you apart from the group. And then and that's how these people get their marks somehow. And then when they come out of the tour, they have like a mark on them, and then you notice it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it kind of, isn't that weird? That's a good, like, it makes you hot, so you like you get like kind of, you walk away from everyone, and then you're on your own.
So I kind of had like, I wouldn't say experience, but whatever. In Italy, in Rome, in the Colosseum, across the street from the Colosseum. I'm forgetting the name of the place, but it has like all the old,
Pizza Hut?
yeah,
I don't know.
yes, I forgot the name of it right now, but it's like, ruins. And there was a certain spot that I just felt like, I don't know, again, it was just like this very odd feeling. And I was just like, whoa, is there someone here with me? It was very, very,
Inside, outside, like you were in?
it was outside.
You were outside.
I feel like you're the kid from The Sixth Sense, and I don't know if we can carry on a friendship anymore.
Yeah, but your thing is I feel dead people.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was very, I mean, I did see my grandfather and wherever
That's
else,
true.
but it was just a certain feeling. And you know what? I never even Googled it, but just, oh God. I don't know.
I'm sure, 'cause,
I don't know. It was just very,
how many people died there? That's,
well,
I'm
that too,
sure
obviously.
there's something. If a place is going to be haunted, it's a place where so many people, like they say, Gettysburg. You go,
Oh yeah, it's true too. People
you
say
go
that.
there,
Yep.
like Civil War stuff, and you see
Right.
soldiers. People see all kinds of stuff there.
Well, in high school, don't make fun of me, but I took Latin and like learned about like, all of ancient Rome and everything, and I felt very connected to it all. I know that sounds weird, but it
Connected
was
to,
like just connected to like that time.
like,
And
just the past.
just like that specific time, ancient Rome.
Oh,
Everything to do with ancient Rome. And even
hey,
go
maybe a
town
former
too.
life. Did you ever go to a
A former
psychic?
life psych? No.
Psychic. I don't know what they.
The Past Lives
Yeah.
Pavilion.
Right.
Yeah.
The PLP.
Well, what's funny that you say that. So the Latin teacher that I actually named Diana after, when we were in high school, she took us to see, what is it called? Spartan? What is that one?
300.
No, it was back in 1990.
A gladiator.
Gladiator, there you go. And so she took all of us. It was very cool that, we actually got to go to the movies to see that kind of movie in high school. And after it, she was so, she said that she was so like physically and mentally tired that I guess she saw a psychic afterwards, and they were like, because you lived through that in your life, and watching it on the screen, like just watching it and seeing exactly what happened, made you go through it again. Because they said you were definitely in
Being
your
married
past
to
life,
Russell Crowe or
Yeah.
being a gladiator.
just living through those ancient times. And I remember her telling me, like, no joke, to this day, I remember her saying, Janine, I've never been more tired in my life after seeing a movie. She's like, I watched a movie. Like, how can watching a movie make you tired? She said, forget
Well,
about it.
to be fair, after I watch Armageddon, I feel like I just ran a marathon. You ever watch that movie? It's like the most intense, nonstop action movie. Any Michael Bay movie, basically.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot he even did that one. But it was just, I don't know. Just, I think being like, even like Anthony said, like in the South, like all these like old timey places, like things can
So
happen.
yeah, I mean, the South and the North, I mean, just as old. The
Yeah,
North's
it's
just,
true too.
but I
Well,
guess it's just
Maine,
more.
witches,
What's that?
I was
Yeah,
gonna,
there's a lot of
witches.
stuff. You could look at Salem.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
Salem.
I was gonna say, like when you start talking about like Rome and shit, like it's even worse because it's even older. It's like an older part of the world. So
Yep.
it's.
they're more pissed off that they're still stuck there.
But I made a joke about the Past Lives Pavilion. That's from Defending Your Life, the Albert Brooks movie. Like,
God.
do you believe that we had like former? Because in that, do you guys saw that movie
I don't
or?
know. No.
No.
Okay, it's watch this movie.
What year is it made in?
It's so good. 80
Doesn't matter.
something.
Can't
91.
watch anything before 90.
It was 1991, and the whole premise. It's him. It's Albert Brooks and the blonde. What's her name? The iconic actress.
No.
Meryl
Mel
Streep.
Streep, thank you. And Rip Torn, phenomenal. The whole premise is they die and they go to Judgment City. And the idea is that the universe decides if you're ready to move on to your next part of life or if you have to go back to Earth to try again. And the idea is that people live in fear, and the less fearful you are, the more that's
Ready.
yeah, the more ready you are to grow. And so they go through not like a trial, but every day they go in and they watch portions of their own life with judges and everything. And after like 4 days or whatever amount of time they get, they decide on whether or not they move forward
You mean
in
I'm gonna
life.
have to rewatch these podcasts eventually?
Yes,
Oh
With a
God.
lot
basically.
of people, with a lot of people around me judging it.
But it's so wonderful because it's Albert Brooks and it's Meryl
Love
Streep,
Albert
and like
Brooks and Meryl Streep.
she gets put into this like luxurious 5-star hotel and he has like the Motel 6. She has three days to look at in her life where he has like 14. Like, so
But to
it's
be
like,
fair, she's Meryl Streep.
right. And she does all these wonderful things and it's so clear that she's moving on and he's just not.
He's
But
like,
they
nope.
have like one of the great things in the movie is like you can eat whatever you want and food just comes out like instantly. So everybody's like eating all this food and it's so delicious. But one of the activities that they have in what they call Judgment City is the Past Lives Pavilion. And you go there and you put your hand on this plate and then you see who you were
Oh, I would like that.
in previous lives. And it's just such a wonderful look at like what the
What's
afterlife could be.
what's the name of the movie?
It's called Defending Your Life.
Defending Your
Okay,
Life.
maybe I'll look at it.
Defending Your Life, 1991. It's one of the great Albert Brooks movies of all time. It's really, really good.
Nice.
But that being said, do you think, Janine, now hearing all these stories, do you think some people are more prone to this or closer connected to whatever
Yes.
than others?
Well, yes. But the thing is, and how to say this the right way, some people are more open than others. Meaning like, and it's not being about being like closed-minded. It's just like your own being, like being open to it. And like and honestly, like I know you probably don't believe in psychics, whatever, but they're psychics for a reason. I believe that we all have different abilities. It's just that some people A know how to use them and B are more open. And I truly believe that. I do. Because do I believe that there's people who pretend to be psychics and aren't? Absolutely. But there's people who really do like have gifts. And not that they could see the future, but they know certain things.
I think
So
there's like
that's
6, and the rest of them are running scams.
and it's like things that have happened to me, they can't be coincidences. And especially like all the things that have happened with Diana and I just gave you one, but there's been so much more.
But here's what I find interesting about this, because I think I'm a skeptical person.
You are.
And I feel like you're not far behind me. I
No.
don't feel like you're one of these open people.
No, I do. Yeah, you're very open
Um
to the experience. To the
I'm skeptical in different ways. Like there's much more that I believe in in this aspect, in this like whatever you want to call it, than other things. I I know I'm not as open as I could be. I know it.
Who's, who to be like, I'm open to everything. You got to have a little bit of skepticism, or else you'll just believe everything
No, it's
and
not.
get and
It's
you get
not
taken for a
even
ride
that.
sometimes.
It's not. It's not even that. It's not being like I don't believe in that. It's like just your own like mind. It's something like that they say you can't really control.
Okay, it's
Like
just your makeup, your whole.
yeah.
It's just the
But then
person you are.
there's other things you can do to make you more open.
Yeah. So it's not just like a matter of going, all right, I'm open. I'll.
Right.
It's just part of who you are.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I'm open to it, like to see, but I don't. I feel like if I ever saw, I'm a big believer of God only gives you what you can handle, for the most part. Like, and I don't know if I can handle running into a ghost. I think I would just drop.
I was gonna say I am not open. Spirits of the world, just know it's closed right here. I
This
don't want
shop
any
is
part of
closed.
it. Yeah.
I mean, I'll if I'm with a group of people, if I'm like by myself, like in my basement, no, thank you. But if I'm like having a party and something happens, then I'll be like, all right, I could handle that. I don't know why, but
But
I
here's
can
the
handle
thing
that.
too, like they say when people pass on that they like to come and visit people who are still living. But some people are not open enough, and some people they know are too scared to see it.
Yeah, I'm sure there were rules, just like here.
There is, and it, it's hard to say like, you know, over. I don't want to say overthink everything, but you just have to be more open. Like honestly, that is
Yeah.
like rule number one.
Now, I'm not sure if I believe in if they're psychics, if they're real or not. I'm sure that 99.99% are full of shit and just conning people. But if there are real ones, I'm open to that. Fine. But one story that my wife tells me, her mom went to a psychic when they were kids, when my wife was a kid, and so my mom went to the psychic, and the psychic was telling her. I think I told you this, Anthony. I'm not sure. Psychic was telling her, "Oh, your husband is in realty," and he's not. But she goes, "Your husband's in realty," and she goes, "No, he's not in realty." And she goes, "Well, right now he's dealing in property right now. He's probably under your nose, but he's buying and selling houses, and you don't know about it." And she's like, "That's ridiculous. That's insane. What are you talking about?" She goes straight from there. She goes home. Her husband, my father-in-law, is playing Monopoly with my wife and her sister.
Oh,
Now
I
I
love
don't
it.
know if that's a
I
true
love it.
story, and I don't know how much I believe in psychics, but that's hard to argue with. It's difficult to argue with.
It's
I could
see,
argue
that's
with
fine.
that. I
It's
mean,
weird. Come on, that's a
it,
weird coincidence.
that is it's a weird
Your
yeah, but
husband's buying and selling properties.
so she saw the properties being bought, but she didn't see that they were red and green houses and hotels.
I lived in a greenhouse one time.
Well, you know
I
what
don't
else
know.
is? It's funny too. It just reminded me of this. My friend's husband, he, I guess he didn't know, but he's definitely way more open than most people because a spirit kept coming to him in his room and like kept waking him up at night. I'm not even kidding you. And he said he finally like got so angry one night. He just said to the woman like, "You have to leave me alone. I can't take this." And then after that, it didn't happen again. But he would get woken by every night by this woman in his room. Yeah, it's fucking scary, right?
That's fun.
And
Did he bang her? Do you remember those stories of like
Ooh, ghost banging.
who was it? There was like a hip hop artist that was like, I had
Isn't
sex with a ghost.
Didn't that
yeah,
happen in Ghostbusters?
Oh, I guess kind of, right? Didn't he?
He got
yeah.
a beach, I think, from.
Yeah.
from a
He's
ghost.
got a beach.
Well,
Ghost?
His pants were unbuckled. I remember
there was a
that.
montage, a musical montage where all sorts of stuff was happening, and then he's in bed and his pants get taken down and he's like dreaming and he falls off the bed.
That's
You
hysterical.
don't really know what's going
Now I'm
on.
gonna have to go back to this, but it's just like you have to wonder like why did some things happen to some people and not others, and
Yeah, it's a weird one.
so that's
I
just a
just-
tiny tidbit of what happened to me.
I just went to like Google because I feel like it was 50 Cent or somebody like that claimed to have sex with a ghost. And the big story that keeps coming up is UK woman claims to have had sex with 20 ghosts.
Oh,
Now, is that an orgy?
well,
Is
she's
that a
definitely open.
The legs are open, that's for sure. Kesha claims to have had sex with a ghost.
Oops, something. With a bottle of Jack.
God. Well,
Sex with a ghost.
do we
That's
end this?
weird.
Do we end this on that?
That's drugs to me. I
That's acid.
yeah, you're having an acid flashback.
I don't know, man. Sex with a ghost. Do they need to have? I mean, what's?
You know what weirds me out? Okay, can we talk about this? Oh, okay. Can we talk about this really quick?
Yeah.
The sleep paralysis thing.
Ooh, that freaks me out.
So I have that.
You
right?
have that.
I have sleep paralysis where I will wake up, I'll be fully awake. My eyes are not open, but I am 100% awake, and I cannot move.
Wait, was it you or was it Dollar Anthony that was talking about this? The both of you.
This is what we were talking about. Yeah, me and our other mutual friend Ant, we discussed this recently, a few months ago, within the last year. And it's called sleep paralysis, and I didn't know what it was, but it was and it was worse when I was younger because I would panic. I would move my legs or try and move or get up, and you just cannot get up. And it is the most helpless, awful feeling. As I've gotten older, I've been able to deal with them all. It doesn't happen all the time, but now when it happens, I feel like, okay, I just have to wait until this is done, and then I'll eventually just get up. But I also, I will panic still a little bit from time to time because I'll be like, if I could just kick my leg, I know I can get out of this. I could get free of this because you're just literally there and you cannot move. So I'm telling this story, or I forget how it came about. So our mutual friend Ant, he has the same experience, except he feels this like black misty spirit woman like holding
That's a
him
common
down.
thing.
That's a succubus.
That's a
And I'm
common
like-
thing. People see shadowy figures when they have sleep paralysis.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're making. First of all, I never knew what sleep paralysis was, and then I think I looked it up once, and I was like, oh, and that was part of it too. When I got to a certain age, I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this happens to other people. This is not special to me. So that made me feel better about it. But he's telling me this story, and I'm like, you're fucking like this. Like I'm trying to tell you something that's real and legitimate. You're hit,
And then you're making fun of me.
you making fun of me. I go look it up. People say the same thing too, that they feel this thing over them, like holding them down. That weirded me out a little bit
That's
because I have
creepy.
never felt that ever.
I think you were the one saying that. How could you feel that way to him? You were saying that to him,
Yeah.
right? Like, how could you?
I don't know how I
Because
can mentally handle that.
our experiences are identical, except for the fact that he sees this black mist
Well-
thing above him.
Didn't you say that you couldn't open your eyes?
I can't open my eyes, but I can. It's weird.
So it could be there. You
No.
just haven't seen it.
I don't feel anything holding me down. It's not holding me down. I just can't move. Because holding you down, you would still be able to struggle or move your whatever. I just literally, my arms and my legs and my body just cease to work. But I'm
how
fully
long?
conscious.
I have the opposite problem. I always feel like
You
dream
jump
that
up
I'm
and do a
falling.
marathon.
I always dream like I'm falling, so I go. And
Oh, everybody, I get
Oh,
that.
the falling, yeah,
my
yeah.
husband does that like at least 3 times a week, and I'm like, "What are you on a treadmill every night? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
I tell you, I punched myself out of bed. I tell
Yeah,
you
you're
that one.
fucking violent in bed.
I totally forgot about this.
This happened like 3 months ago. I'm in bed, I'm asleep, and in my dream,
By the way, I want everybody to know I know this guy for 30-something years. The first time I ever heard about this was like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
well, this is the only time that I've done this. I've move a lot when I'm asleep, but this is the first time I threw myself out of bed. So I'm laying there in bed, and the edge of the bed is on my left, and my wife is on my right. And I'm laying there, and in my dream, I dreamt that I was fighting someone, and I couldn't throw a punch. Somehow I was held back a little bit, and then I struggled through it. I fought through as best I could to finally build up the energy and throw a punch. And when I threw it, I actually threw the punch with my right hand in real life, and I punched, like, right next to my head is a nightstand, and I punched the top of the nightstand, and I threw myself out off the bed. My wife woke up and grabbed me. I literally, my knees and my feet were on the floor, and I was like hanging out of the bed. And I was like, "What the? Oh my God."
Frank, what do you do?
I told you. I thought I don't fight with anybody in real life, and then when in my dream, I throw punches. I throw haymakers.
You need to go box.
I need like a heavy bag in the yard and just. But that one.
No, you need a regular therapy appointment. Is what you need.
I need a lobotomy of some kind. I punched myself out of the bed.
I'd like to know if any of the viewers have experienced any of these two things, because honestly, like the sleep paralysis, like.
Well, that's a common thing.
How you
sleep
do that.
paralysis.
I don't know. I would not like that at all.
No, that freaked me out.
And whenever
miserable.
my brother-in-law with the woman, like what?
Mm-mm.
But also, I think he said it happens to him like often, like once every 2 weeks.
We gotta ask him next time.
Damn.
Next time we're together.
I don't have that. Mine every now and then, maybe once every 3 months, 4 months or something, it'll happen randomly. It's very bizarre.
He's got to put like a camera on him while he sleeps, and then record. And then one night we'll catch him doing, a night where he has sleep paralysis, and just see if we see anything.
It's just so, I don't know. There's something so it feels like such a physical thing for me, like paralysis. Literally, like you're just paralyzed.
You just can't move.
You can't move.
Can you
How fucked
feel?
up are our dreams going to be tonight?
Can you introduce that
Can you
element?
feel
to us?
anything? Like, can you feel the covers? Can you feel the pillow?
Everything.
You can feel everything. You just can't move.
Oh my God, I would not like that.
Yeah,
And that's what's so bizarre. Like if the sheets are on me or like half off me or whatever it is, when I finally do move, that is exactly how everything is. And it's weird because I know I'm sleeping, I can't open my eyes, but yet at the same time, I know I could feel that. It's hard to describe.
You know where you are. You just know your
Right.
surroundings.
The room and
This is
absolutely.
scary. This is scary. I'm not
See,
gonna lie. Not gonna lie. This is scary.
Not that I have what you have, but what I have is different. When I sleep, sometimes I dream that I dream that I'm waking up, but I'm still asleep, and I can't get up. But I'm in my dream, can't get up. And that happens to me a lot. Like I'm in my dream, I'm sleeping, and then in my dream I wake up, but I can't lift myself out of bed. And every time I do, I finally build it up and do.
Oh my God.
I fall back asleep in my dream, and then I have to start again. That's a weird one that I get like once a month. But I'm still asleep. I'm asleep through all of this. I don't know what that is. It's not a recurring dream because it's always a different location. Like I'm on vacation somewhere, or I'm in a different house, and I'm asleep, and I just can't physically lift myself up. But then I finally do, and then I'm back on the bed again, and I'm asleep. And then finally I'll just wake up normally.
That's strange. It's not terribly dissimilar to what I go through.
Yeah, it's a weird. I know it's almost like feels like I'm drugged. I'm just passed out, and I'm trying to just build up my energy again. It's weird.
I feel like we're losing J-Sabs, Frank. Are you losing J-Sabs there? Or
Yeah, she's
a little blocky.
Glitched out there. Yeah.
I can hear her.
J-Sabs, can you hear us? A little bit.
A little bit. I don't know. I see a weird dark thing behind her now.
Oh, good. That's good.
Very, very frightening.
Yeah, turn around, J-Sabs. Watch out!
You probably are.
Like we can't up, and she's gone.
And she's gone.
Well, the ghost's got her.
Whatever that thing was got her.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I'm waiting to see something behind one of us. Before we started the show,
Don't
that
tell
thing,
people this.
should I not tell you?
They're not
People?
gonna believe it.
It's this is the God's honest truth. I would not make this up. But before we started the show, just before we hit the go button, that square right behind you fell down. That the first time that's ever happened on any of our podcasts, any of our episodes, that square was off the like tilted down, like half of it was falling down. Coincidence?
Yeah, it weirded me out. It weirded me out a little bit because that's
Kinda
never
freaky.
happened before.
I didn't even know those were like stuck on the wall like that. I thought they were like nailed on or whatever, but it just whoop, it just tilted itself down. And I didn't see it fall, but I saw it tilted. And then I saw this hand come up. No, I didn't see it. But we did see that. That's the truth. I wouldn't make that up. That's the truth.
Well, listen, we've said a lot on this episode. There's a lot of great stories.
I love them all. They're so fascinating.
I feel like we need to whisper and like get closer because I don't want to like. I'm afraid now to not be like together with the audience.
Oh, okay. Yeah, everybody huddle close to the campfire.
Bring it in close. Get close. This was scary.
We're about to tell you a story.
This was very scary.
You want to hear a good, like, I guess horror. Go back. I used to listen to these old radio shows from like the 40s and 50s, and they did this one. I forget what the hell it was called. Damn it. It was like, I forget what it's called, but it's on these websites, these old-fashioned radio show websites, and they have these ways of doing these it's like the live shows where they have actors reading scripts and stuff, but the way they act them out, it was so old-fashioned but so cool and exciting. Like if you just listen to it, it's so entertaining. I always wanted to do an old-fashioned radio show like that where you have actors and writers, but I feel like that would be a big thing on like almost like putting a sitcom on the radio like they used to do. I feel like if you had radio sitcoms, would that make a comeback, you think? Or people don't care about radio sitcoms?
I don't know if they care about that shit anymore.
Yeah, right.
There used to be a Sirius XM channel with that stuff on it.
Yeah, it's fun. Like the way they used to write these things, there was so much talent back then. It was,
Yeah.
and the acting and the sound effects. It was such a cool genre. It was scary stuff too. They have some like really cool ones with like, the serial killers on the loose. A guy escaped from a jail and he's on the loose. And did this woman drive by and pick her up as he was hitchhiking? It's like a weird. It's almost like Twilight Zone episodes that they did over the radio. It was really cool.
I feel like we've talked about this before, and I've mentioned this before, but they do the It's a Wonderful Life. It's as an old radio play at the theater out here.
Oh, that's cool.
Every year they do it, like so you could watch them on stage, but what you're watching on stage basically is like what you used to watch on stage at Radio City Music Hall 100 years ago. They'd be out there just acting it out. There'd be a folio guy making all the sounds in the back and everything. It's like
that's cool.
It's nostalgia and wonderful. It's like fantastic.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
That needs to make a comeback. I know everything is cyclical. I think that stuff needs to, like, that talent was so rare. It was so
it's
great.
so great. Like, what would you say an average ticket is for a show these days, a concert or a play?
Average $50,
yeah.
$60.
So somebody comes and sponsors it, so it's like $5 a ticket for kids and like $10 for adults. It's like awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
That's a lot of fun. Fine, I'll buy a ticket. God.
We should do it. Well, I don't know if they're doing it this year, but it's in this theater that was built in the 1930s.
Is it haunted?
I don't know, but I refuse to be there when nobody's around. I won't do that.
Empty theaters, man. They could be freaky. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. There's just something about all the bad behavior of the past that like freaks me out, I don't care for any of it. Anyway, listen.
Tell us your ghost stories, by the way, in the comments.
You're yelling. You're screaming. Get quiet.
How are the ghosts going to hear me?
That's what I don't want.
You don't want them to hear you. Okay.
I don't want to disturb the spirits.
Yes.
This was a enlightening program.
Should we have saved this for October? Maybe. But.
Maybe we'll replay it though.
Ooh.
But this
rerun.
You're still yelling. I don't know why you're yelling.
I'm sorry.
This is what spirits would expect. Like, this is what a spirit would do. It would come up and surprise you at an unsuspecting time.
While we're whispering.
Yes.
That would be really terrible.
That would be really terrible.
Yeah, because it's not fun surprising someone who's yelling.
No. No. I'm afraid to go to sleep tonight.
I'm afraid for you to go to sleep tonight. I'll be fine. I'm afraid for you.
You should be worried about my wife the most.
Worry about my bureau. I don't punch a hole through it.
Think about how scary bedtime is for my wife. Yeah,
That's every night.
I'm concerned for your wife. I'd like to get one of those plastic shields in between you and her.
She wouldn't argue.
If that punch would have went the other way, we would have had a real problem, my friend.
I'm asleep. I don't know what I'm doing, and I that guy deserved it.
Check.
That hurt though. I punched the nightstand, and it hurt.
Sure.
Wooden friggin' thing of drawers. Just bang.
I hope everybody enjoyed this episode.
Yes. Please let us know if you want more singular episodes like this.
Yeah. And
one topic.
Please, no matter how long they are, I will read all of them in the morning when it's bright. Share all the lights stories on with us with all the lights on.
Yep.
This is very uncomfortable.
Tune in next time for Nightmare Theater. No, I don't know. Are we done?
What the fuck was that? Is that a car?
I live close to a big street, and it's motorcycles every night. We hear them all the time. It's either that or High the Killer Bees.
That freaked me the fuck out.
We hear it all the time. It's motorcycles. They speed up this road. It's insane.
Are you just telling me that to make me feel better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the ghosts make buzzing sounds now. That's their new thing.
Shh.